Sports page, and I'm gonna welcome to the set. I got two of my main guys here. I've got K Love, Kevin Harris. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what is happening over here, baby? What is happening?
Well, it's time for the sports page, man, and we're
Yes,
gonna cover.
sir.
Let's see, we're gonna talk a little NFL. We might slip that in, see what's going on upcoming for this year, 2024, 2020. Oh no, 2025, 2026 for NFL. We might cover a little bit of that. We're going to cover some WNBA and NBA today, and boxing. Can't leave out the box. I know my main man, the boxing guru, Mr. Mark Daniels, has a lot to share on that end. Hey, Mark,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
how are you, brother?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you? What's going on, Kev?
Hey, what's going on, Mark? What's happening, man?
Oh man, just hanging in there.
Uh, hey, guys, we got some announcements. Now we have a brand new system. Excited about what we're trying to maximize that. And Mark, I need to talk to you off air also. We're trying to maximize that, and that is, jot it down, rss.com. Now you say, hey, what is rss.com? That's a new service that we're using right now to distribute. We're turning shows like this one, the sports page, into a podcast. Okay. And it's just that good. And so what happens is rss.com, just type in rss.com, and what it's going to do for you, it's going to take you to a website. All right. And you type in Studio W, you can type in the Studio W sports page, and guess what? All of our podcasts will be there. But it gets better. Then that service will distribute this podcast, this broadcast, which we are turning into a podcast, to all major podcast networks. It could be Apple, it could be Spotify, and it does it all for us automatically. So I'm really excited about that. Very excited. So guys, you got to tell your friends. It starts here with the panel. We all, and you guys listening out there, do us a favor. Share this station with your friends. And if you love this show, and the greatest thing about it is you'll be able to go back and listen to several episodes. We're scrambling trying to get all of the episodes up, but we've been going a couple of years, so that might take a while. So what we'll do going forward, we'll share as many as we can, and from the past, but also going forward. I'm really excited. The second announcement is, you guys ever listen to Groove Swing Speaks? Okay, Groove Swing Speaks. It comes on, which is also we're turning into a podcast. That comes on Tuesdays. And we exercise, but not only that, we showcase the best in our community, whether it's music, whether it is business, could be medicine, could be science, anything that has to do with anything. We've always had our hands in it. And a lot of times we create it. If we didn't create it, we made the system better. So you got to check that out on Tuesdays. That will also be on rss.com. And I'm getting some feedback from somewhere. Who is the culprit? Yeah. Okay. K-Love? Nope. It's Mark. Okay. All right. I apologize, K-Love. But anyway, Mark. Okay. All right. Well, Mark is probably doing. He multitasks very well. But so anyway, we'll do that. But anyway, hey guys, I got it.
I'm here with you. I'm here with you.
Okay, Mark, I got to ask you and K-Love here. What was your opinion? And you all guys know what I'm saying. NBA All-Star Weekend. Now, I'll tell you mine after I hear yours. Mark, please let me. What do you think of that? Do you like it, love it, hate it?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. This is the first. Well, no, I ain't gonna say I'll be wrong, but I haven't really had a real interest in the NBA All Star Game in probably 10 years.
Okay.
I mean, this thing they did the other night. They're trying to do whatever they can to salvage it at this point, and it's really a simple fix. And that simple fix is you have a real slam dunk contest. You have the 3-point shooting thing that's always worked,
right?
And the other thing is this: as part of their contract, if you're selecting an all-star, you need to play and you need to give 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But on the backside of that, you're also protected by injury.
Mm-hmm.
People are paying too much money. I mean, All Star Weekend. Hey, man, you take if it's you and a kid, you talking over $1,000 just to be able to be a part of the festivities.
Right.
And I can't speak for everybody else, but man, I ain't got no $1,000 just to be get to. You go near the All Star game. It's my one chance to see LeBron James, and he decides the day of the game he ain't playing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the slam dunk contest. Now, I will give kudos to young man McClung. He put on the show.
He did.
But again, where are the other guys that? I mean, you know, I was always mad because LeBron never participated in it.
Right.
I was always mad because John Morant is not participating in it.
Right.
The last good dunk contest they had was when Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine put on the show, and Aaron Gordon basically said, "I'm tired of getting screwed. I didn't got robbed twice. I'm done." No,
Mhm.
you bring these dudes into the fold, and as much money as the NBA got, if they made it a $10 million, take one take all,
Mhm.
you would get some more interest into it. Uh, William, back in the day, and I know the All Star game was a big thing.
It
I
was.
mean, I remember the one time I was still a kid, but I remember the one time All Star Weekend national anthem Marvin Gaye sung it out at the Forum. I
Yep.
mean, electrified the crowd. The crowd was already electrified uh, before the game even started.
Right.
Then you notice you have Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Clyde Drexler, eat Spud Webb. You had the stars of participating
Mhm.
and everything. These dudes here act like they prima donnas, man. And my opinion is this: if you're an all star, if you're considered one of the best in the world, one of the best dunkers in the world, get out there and show it.
That's right.
Because unlike the baseball all star game, where I can see how that home run derby contest can kind of wear you out. Because I don't know if you ever watched it, but man, that's a long process. But with the dunk contest, hell, you be doing that in warm-ups. So what is the difference in doing it in a contest? That
Mhm.
used to be the epitome of the All-Star Weekend was the dunk contest. When you had guys like Vince Carter and all them putting on, I mean, phenomenal shows. And now you got a guy that is in the G League that has won 3 years in a row.
In a row. And I don't
Nothing
think
against him.
he can't be over 6'2", can he? Is he?
He about 6'2", something like that. Hey, you know what? I'm not taking nothing away from him.
I'm not.
But I'm like, come on now. What is the game? What is the deal here?
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, it was a mess. I'm not gonna lie. I watched a little bit of the dunk contest, but outside, and a matter of fact, I saw the tail end of it. Outside of that, it gets too many different, too many different. It's just too much BS that gets involved. I mean, the skills challenge, all right, whatever. But
Yeah.
I am very much one All Star Weekend. The host city is bringing a lot of money to that city. It's bringing a lot of money to at least put out a decent product.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
Kayla,
my
what you,
thought.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And
I
I went with mine last. Hey, but first of all, I want to acknowledge Bruce J, the entertainer. He's listening. Hey, thank you, my friend. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, listen to the buzz. As a matter of fact, you can find his music on all platforms. This man, I'm talking about writer, producer, singer, a musician, promoter, uh, entertainer. He does it all. He writes for a lot of people, So, and that's Lab 101, Lab 101. Check out the buzz each and every, well, all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're going to hear something, I'm guaranteed, from Lab 101. He have Miss Diva Soul. He have Summer. He has C. Ross, DJ Kell, and I'm missing a few others, but man, you get the picture. We had the pleasure of having him on. I believe last Monday, wasn't it, Kay?
Looks like really
yeah,
dope.
yep.
K Love, he was on there with us last Monday, and we had a blast. So, and tomorrow night, check us out. That is WB and K Love on Monday Night Madness. Oh, did I mention we've got a brand new show that's coming up? Well, it's not, the show isn't new, but the co-host is, and you know who this young lady is, Mark. The co-host my brand new co-host on Wednesday night, Cultural Excellence. That's deep. All of our music shows are unique in one way or the other. So you guys, you need to check it out. Hey, Mark, take a wild guess who my co-host on Wednesdays will be this coming Wednesday, starting this coming Wednesday, rather.
I would say Nakaya.
You nailed it. And she was so excited to get the invite. And she said, "Oh, absolutely, absolutely." As a matter of fact, there is a new flyer out. I'm going to show that on the screen sometime during this broadcast. But Caleb, getting back to the question, what was your opinion about? Uh,
Yeah, basically piggybacking most of what Mark said. I mean,
oh,
it's almost to the point that okay, you get somebody from the G League who you don't see him any other time of the year. He shows up once a year,
yeah.
puts on the show, wins 3 in a row.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, he may have saved the dunk contest for the time being, but I mean, my personal best one, it hasn't been the same since basically I think Vince Carter did. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh boy, they were showing replays of Vince Carter's dunk, man. His dunks. I
yeah.
think. Oh, that year that he said. I think when he first started, how many years did he win it?
You know, I think he only participated that one year.
Okay, and
But then you had Jason Richardson and that came in and put on a show. You had Nate Robinson that would come in, and you had Dwight Howard that came in. I mean, so you had guys. I mean, you had guys that stepped up.
right.
Right.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
no question about it. It was absolutely incredible. I'm trying to post that flyer, but I don't. Ooh, I don't know whether it's going to let me do that or not because I don't want to leave the studio and I don't want to mess anything up. Yeah. Okay.
But
I,
yeah, I mean, but like I said, but I mean, outside of that, you get a bunch of like I don't want to say like no names, but it's almost people you never really heard of that you don't see very often. I mean, the one now if you really want to bring it back, I mean, put people like John Morant, what I'm saying, or Anthony Edwards at least. I mean, bring at least those two. Those two would definitely try to bring something back.
oh, I would love to have seen John Morant
Oh man,
because
I mean,
you know while
if
he is
nothing
on the
else,
court and
yeah.
creative, see that's another thing.
but you wouldn't know what part of the problem that comes with that sometimes, though. I know
What's
this
that?
sounds
What's that?
weird. I know this is going to sound weird, but William, you would probably know this because this was more of our era. Clyde Drexler was a phenomenal end game dunker. I mean, this dude was a highlight
Oh,
reel.
yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Mm,
But in competitions, he was not that creative.
It- it-
Some guys are great. At that spur where they just get. I mean, somehow in the heat of the moment, and somebody. I mean, they do some spectacular stuff. But then when
right.
it comes to a competition, they're not very creative. Clyde Drexler was the epitome of that. I mean, he would be in the finals against Michael Jordan, and I knew that Clyde wasn't going to win it. I mean, Clyde wasn't very creative, but then you had there's just some guys that are great end game dunkers, but if they have to get in a competition, they're not that creative.
I'm tired of seeing uh, they have someone standing. You got this guy, and he's tossing the basketball up to you, and then these guys that slam the ball on the court, then go up and try to. How many years have we seen that over and over and over a year? I mean,
Well,
every year.
you know something. I'll be honest with you. In the generations that I'm seeing, and Kev probably can agree to this. I'm not gonna lie, you got some phenomenal jumping young men. I mean, these guys, hey, they had stuck up in the top. I mean, the very top. You know how when the ball gets stuck up in that stanchion, right?
right.
Like hey man, that dude Obi Toppin, he did it with no effort. He took 2 steps, jumped up here, and knocked it loose. Hey man, that's 12 feet.
Yeah.
I
Good.
I
mean,
mean, if the
I wouldn't mind even seeing Obi Toppin at least, try it to either. I wouldn't
yeah,
mind
but you
seeing
know
that.
what? He's another one. He was good, and he was in it before. He wasn't that spectacular.
Mm,
What's that?
But Obi Toppin, he's with the Pacers now. But you get some guys, I mean, that are this. I mean, there's some phenomenal dunkers in that league. I mean, like you say, John Morant. I mean, I want to see what this dude can do in a game. You get a guy. I really wanted to see what LeBron could have done
Right.
in a game. Uh, these dudes now, it's like, hey, every year, boy, and back in the day, you knew Dominique and Michael Jordan was going at it.
Right.
Oh my God, they used to put on a show.
There was no question about it. There was no
I
question
mean,
about it. And speaking of creativity, I believe John Moran is one of those players. He does what he does comfortably on the court. I mean, I've seen him just make some dunks and also even layups, and just the creativity is it's like a natural thing, and I can see him bringing that to the All-Star game because I'm seeing the same old remake or modified dunks that I've seen before. Okay, and it's just not, and just like that cat who wanted, like you say, he's in the G League, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, G League. Now he stole the whole weekend.
Yep.
hey,
What do you
but
think
wait a
about
minute. He did stuff that.
that?
I
Go
mean,
ahead,
he
Mark.
did some stuff. I mean, that dude had some phenomenal dunks. I mean, he had the dude spinning around. He did some stuff. Jumped
Right,
over a car. Uh,
and he didn't miss one.
uh-uh.
No, he didn't.
And I think the last one was when he came up there and the other guy was holding the basketball on the rim, and he came up with one ball. He slapped the one that was on the rim end, then dunked it. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, has he ever played? He's been with three different teams, we understand. Now, who is he representing?
Or,
I think he was
Orlando.
on. I think he's on
Orlando.
Orlando now.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
and
Orlando.
who was he with before that?
The Sixers,
Philly.
And
Philly.
Philly,
who?
I don't know if it was
Philly.
Toronto or New York or no. It wasn't the Lakers, was it? Or the Warriors? One of them.
I
No,
don't think it
I
was
don't
the Lakers.
remember. All I remember
I don't
was
think it was the
Philly
Lakers
and
or the Warriors. Boy, I don't know. But my point is now. Oh, my question is: did he ever play on those prospective teams? He was always in the G League.
No, I think he got some time with Philly,
Okay.
and I think he
Okay.
got a little bit of time with Orlando. I think in this dude's case, I just hate to say it, it's this wrong place at the wrong time because he can play.
He can definitely play. He can definitely play.
You
Wow.
want to hear something crazy?
What's
He's
that?
made more money. He's made more money winning the dunk contest in the 3 years that he's made playing in the G League.
Oh boy,
mm,
that's amazing. So, and then the next question is, it comes to mind: how much do you make for winning those contests? I'm
I think
wondering.
he's won over $3 million winning those dunk contests, and his career earnings is like $1 million.
Okay,
wow.
that's pretty amazing. If I was him, just keep on dunking, bro, until they give you a spot.
Jeez.
That's crazy. Now, my take on this thing: it was the worst uh, All-Star weekend I've ever experienced.
Mm,
Worse. And I'll tell you what, like Mark, you said, it's like, and I'm paraphrasing probably, they're like the prima donnas or something, and they don't come and people. The reason why people are coming to see you because they were noticing you during the season or the first half of the season, and they said, "Wow, I'm going to see this guy." And everybody has. You may not like a team, uh, uh, or or you might be subservient or just like your team, but you respect those other players and you come out to see them. That's why sometimes on certain games, you're going to see, and it depends on the team, you're going to have a poor team on TV and you let somebody like right now, a Boston Celtics come to town. People coming out to see, okay? Or you have somebody like, well, they're going to come out, the Lakers are a draw, okay? And right now, Cleveland, oh, those stands are packed. All right, people want to see that. OKC. So if I'm going to the All-Star game, and Mark, I agree with you 1,000,000%. I'm coming to see these guys perform, not to be a poor version of the Harlem Globetrotters. If you get what I'm saying. All right. We and something else. I think that they would make, especially go back to the old format with the East versus the West, but you coach and encourage them to play some defense. Play like you playing a regular game. Play like you playing a regular game. I mean, it's you get a rebound or you got the ball. Oh, it's an open layup or open dunk. Nobody's gonna stay. Nobody's gonna take a charge. Okay, nobody's gonna foul you. No, and that's just that's why I something else, and I'm gonna switch subjects here. Just like I hate the NFL Pro Bowl, they changed that around too. I don't even watch that. Never watched it. I said, this is crazy. This is like me and my brothers in the backyard throwing football to one another.
And that's basically what it's come down to, is flag football. I mean, to be honest with you,
They don't play.
The Pro Bowl
play a game anymore
since Sean Taylor, delivered that big hit in the Pro Bowl.
Okay, I'm vaguely familiar.
That was like in the 2000s somewhere, I think.
Okay.
I want to say 2000. Oh, I forgot what the year was. But that big hit, Sean Taylor delivered that hit over that punter. Man, when they almost knocked the dude out, ever since then, they haven't been the same since.
Oh, okay. So what they're doing? You see what the teams are doing? They're protecting their brand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Versus a game. Now they don't mind getting you. Well, they know that you might get hurt. During a regular game. Right? I mean, a regular game. But if it doesn't mean anything, and it's going to hurt their bottom line, it's all about the dollars. It's all about dollars and cents. And so many teams they spend their name stupidly, drafting the wrong players or hiring the wrong coach and anything. But that's a whole different thing. But if there's anything like an exhibition, and you would call that an exhibition, then no, they're not going to take a chance on that. So now, did they replace the so-called regular football game? Because, like I said, I don't even watch it. With flag football, is that what happened?
Well, I didn't even watch it. So I mean, it was to me. It's no. Well, I was at work when the game came on, but to me, it's almost like it's pointless.
It is. Hey, Mark, do you watch that? Because I still haven't given my final opinion about this All-Star weekend. But anyway,
do I watch it now?
The Pro Bowl, did you watch it?
No, I ain't wasting my time looking at that mess.
You know what? So I don't know because the listenership was down. I don't know. The sponsors the ones that got screwed on that one because ain't nobody watch it. You pay, imagine you paid whatever it is for commercial on the Pro Bowl. Now commercials on the actual game, the championship game, and they mentioned, and I've never been clear. It never been explained clearly to me or not. And they will say, well, this commercial spot costs $3.5 million. I think it's more than that now for a 30-second spot. Does that mean they're going to pay in rotation 30-second spots of your commercial? But because it can't be $3.5 million, $4 million for 30-second. And let's say they show it 10 times. I can't understand that. So does that mean that you pay $3.5 million and you get 30-second clips throughout the game and going forward? Is that somebody explain it to me, Mark? You probably know about this. How does that work?
I know you pay for your slots, so I don't know if you pay for a segment. So like Coca-Cola or Budweiser, they'll be shown 3 or 4 times during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I think you pay per segment.
So that'd be we're talking about what, 12, $14 million?
Yeah.
Whoa. Well, I guess what? They're definitely $1 billion company, so I guess it works out for them. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Because otherwise it wouldn't make sense to do so. But yeah, so I don't watch the Pro Bowl. I don't watch the Pro Bowl at all. Congratulations. Have we have? I don't think we had time, or we didn't congratulate the Philadelphia Eagles since we right there. We gonna get back to some basketball, but I will stay right there. And Mark, let's start with Kevin this time. Let's go to Mark here. Hey, K-Love,
Yeah.
did you expect that back back behind the barn shed whooping that Philadelphia?
You know what? You see, this goes. Okay, let me tell you this. This goes back to what, and this is what the famous Mark Daniels quote that I always said before. It was so fun. What was so funny to me during the game, we were all going back and forth, between us three, throughout the game. It was so funny that
yeah, that's right.
I was more entertained by our interaction during the game than the game itself. Now, the famous Mark Daniels quote: "Everybody got a game plan until they get punched in the mouth." That was the first thing we saw.
Oh,
right?
Oh, yeah, that was so funny. That was so funny.
Great. But see, and this is why sometimes, and I was sitting there thinking, I'm low key terrified because every time when Mark says something, if something comes to fruition, it never ever fails. Like, it was so funny. WB, you nailed it too when you kept saying bring the house, but they only brought 4 people, but they made Patrick Mahomes uncomfortable the entire game.
Yep. That, I because see what happened. See, if you notice, and you guys know it, KC had a great record. Did they lose? Oh, yeah, they lost 2. Yeah. And I thought it was a huge mistake for them to just give that last game a game away during regular season. My thing is, you play until the end, all right? Because it happens more often than not. You start saying, okay, it's almost like prevent defense. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about as far as the health of this team is concerned. So a lot of people say, well, we kind of go, we've got this in the bag, so we're going to rest our players before the Super Bowl because we want to. Guys, playing safe never works. Matter of fact, a lot of times you get more injured by playing in safe than you do playing your game, right? We'll explain that later. But anyway, so I'm thinking, all right, keep you keep somebody. I need a spy on Mahomes. I need a spy on him. I need to bring the house and just put the pressure on him because if you notice, a lot of times, a ton of points were made by KC because they let Mahomes escape. All right. He was able to get outside of the pocket, and then also he could run on you. And you contain that dude. And you go on, make sure that you play your defense. Okay. Your linebackers and also your corners. Shucks, man. I was having the time of my life. I said, yeah, that would have been my game plan. Hey, Mark, your take on that. And also, I can't believe that the coach, this is only his 4th year. He's in the Super Bowl, but if he had lost, do you think he would have been fired?
That's a tough question.
Okay, well, let's wait until Mark gets back on. What do you say, love? What do you say? What do you think?
No, I'm here.
Okay, Mark. Hey, you heard the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what was that part of it again about? Would he get fired? How was that? What are you saying now?
Yeah. Well, first I started off with talking about Mahomes, and that they heard my game plan. They heard my game plan. You put a spy on him. You bring the house. You put pressure on him. Okay. Make sure those corners and linebackers. You don't let anything out, right? So, but anyway. The question was, if Philadelphia's had lost that game, would that coach still have a job?
It depends on the fashion in which they would have lost. I think he would have still. I mean, if it had been a lot of finger pointing afterwards, then yeah, you got to make a change. But see, William, we talked about it beforehand. I said, if I was that coach, I'd say, hey, look, I don't care who do it. somebody laid this cat out on the very first series. And you know what? He started feeling that heat,
Didn't he?
and it changed the whole trajectory of the game. I think he'd still kept his job, but I tell you what, I believe he'd have kept his job, but he'd have been on. He could see the water through the ice for about the first 8 weeks next year, because if there's any problems, he would have been gone.
Uh, uh, but see, keep in mind, this is the thing about what I love about Pittsburgh. He had only been there 4 years, and his record, he had a winning record, right?
Yeah, but the problem was with the guy in Philly. They start questioning his decision making and et cetera, et cetera.
Mm.
And then if they'd went out there and had a horrible game plan, he'd have caught hell. But you can't fire a dude that just took you to the Super Bowl the same year. You're gonna fire him in the off season.
Mm.
So he would have been there, but trust me, he'd have been the lame duck guy going into the beginning of the season. Philly started off something like 3-5. He's gone.
Oh.
That's what I believe would have happened if he'd have lost.
Uh-huh. Well, you know, Mark, I think we echoed each other before the game started, because and Caleb, you remember this.
Yeah.
And Mark, you may have brought up first, Caleb. Who said something about you got to have a solid game plan? Was that you or Mark?
That was Kev.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it could have been any of us on that one, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my thing is, and I agreed, and I pointed out, you're right. You got to have a game plan. What would that game plan look like? And in my opinion, Saquon, because he had, how many yards did he have in that game? He had
he in that game against Kansas City, their defense did a phenomenal job of shutting him down.
How many yards did he have though?
Like 60 yards
at all.
Yeah, he didn't do a whole lot of damage like everybody expected him to.
Okay, but guess what? I also said
here was the problem. Here was the problem, real quick, William. Here was the problem. That Philly offensive line was giving Jalen Hurts a lot of time, and Jalen Hurts played the game of his life.
Sure did.
And to be honest with you, Kansas City's defensive back stunk.
Yep. You know, I tell you, you're right, because Jalen Hurts, if you look at him per game, he doesn't throw for a lot of yards, does he?
No.
I think he had over 260. Was it 267?
Hey, let me tell you something. People don't want to hear this. That Super Bowl was a replay of a Tampa Bay, Kansas City Super Bowl about 5 years ago. They brung the heat on Mahomes. He was running backwards all day. and you know, you can see with the pick six he had. Oh man, DeAndre Hopkins don't drop that pass. I'm still wondering how long that would have went.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. See, you can't have a prevent defense type of situation if you're playing against Mahomes. He will eat you alive. And if you let him out there by himself in the pocket, you bring pressure up the middle, and he gets on the outside, you're dead. Okay. And what happened was Philadelphia wasn't going to allow it. They saw the game, same game film that I saw. I said, okay, this is how you get this cat. And you get a game plan and you stick to it. And even though Barkley didn't get a lot of yards, I thought he had broken that all-time record, including the playoffs, but I guess not. But anyway, my point is that defense also thought he was. Okay? And I think that was a big trick, because Philadelphia made him think, oh, well, okay, yeah, we're going to give Barkley the ball. You can stop him, right? But we're going to keep you focused on that, because, you know, he can break it at any time, right? But, man, I picked Philly to win, but I didn't expect them to beat them that bad. Matter of fact, the game was worse than the score. I think, what was it, 40-something, 22?
Yeah, that was the final score, but at one point it was 34-0.
This is what I'm talking about. What was the score going into halftime?
It was 24-0 at half.
Wow, 24 or 34?
No, 24 at halftime.
Okay. Man, oh man. I was so happy. I said, yeah. And I understand that I think Mill is still recovering in a good way
Yeah.
because he wasn't talking a whole lot. And I had if Mill, if you're listening, yeah, I'm gonna talk about your son. All right. And I was talking about sister yesterday, and she said that they would talk about the game before the game, and he was really nervous. I was like, well, he didn't have no money on the game. He doesn't gamble. But no, 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 no. So yeah, yeah, Kansas City, three-peat, right? Okay, all right. How did that work out for you? Okay, let's get back. Here we are. Now, I'm gonna switch it back to NBA. Hey, Mark, any boxing news before we go back to the NBA?
They got a dynamic card going on right now. I'm watching it as we speak. Oh
Oh
yeah,
man. Uh
yeah.
oh.
They got
Who's that?
well, the main event tonight is going to be a rematch light heavyweight Arthur Bitteroff and Dimitri Bivol. But they had the undercard was going to be Daniel Dubois, who beat Anthony Joshua, and he was fighting Joseph Parker. But Daniel Dubois got sick, had to pull out. So now he's going to Joseph Parker's for heavyweight going to be fighting Martin Bacoli. That fight, this dude Bacoli is beat that upcoming heavyweight James about 5 rounds. So I should say, Virgil Ortiz Jr. was on this card. He fought last. He just won. They got Carlos Adames. He's fighting right now. Callum Smith fought earlier. Man, this card is, and Shakira Stevenson's going to actually be fighting after this next fight. So it's been on since 11 o'clock. I ain't moved from my chair.
So how are you watching it? Is there is it on cable? Is it on
It was on the zone, that DA, whatever they call it, DAZN. It's on the zone. You have to subscribe to that.
Oh, I don't have that.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah,
So is it on Prime also, or just on that one? They
I
don't.
believe it's just on that.
Yeah, they generally don't share those networks.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, I never heard of that before. When you get a chance after the show, text me that, and I'll see.
Okay.
But
They're fighting
yeah.
over. See, they're fighting over in Saudi Arabia again. This dude, His Excellency Turkish Ali, I guess his name is he is taking over. All these cats are going to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia now to fight because he's paying the big time.
All right. Hey, Mark, do something for me. Log out and log back in because you're breaking up. And so what we're going to do, we're going to take a.
Okay, let me do that real quick.
All right. Yeah. Log out and log back in. All right. So we're going to take a little music break.